Right now. The Monday, March 2nd, 2026 regular Borough Council meeting. At this time, if you please stand if you're able. And before we begin our agenda, please join me in a moment of silent reflection. We especially recognize those who serve our borough and our country, as well as the residents we represent. Let us reflect on our shared commitment to this community. Okay, you can join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Borough Manager, would you like to do the roll call?
I would love to. Councilors Littlefield and Shawley are both absent tonight with prior notice. Everyone else is in attendance.
All righty. So we are going to begin tonight with the swearing in of Stacy Dill. Stacy was informally sworn in after her appointment, and today we're going to make it official so we can have the pictures and she can be in front of the public and take it away, Mayor. I don't know that.
This lighting and backdrop is notoriously bad for.
Yeah, you can.
Do you want to take a step down?
Yeah, we brought a nice studio light.
Yeah. No one can take care of it. Okay. I, Stacy Hill,
I, before y'all.
do solemnly swear
That
that I will support, obey, and defend
I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth,
and that I will discharge the duties
and that I will discharge the duties
of my office with fidelity.
of my office with fidelity. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Bill. Thank you. All right, I move on now. I need a motion from council for the consent agenda for the minute February 2nd, February 17th, 2026, and approval of the bills from month February 2026, and the recurring bill from March 2026.
Madam President, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda for March 2nd, 2026.
I'll second.
Councilor Costa and Richter. Do you have any? Okay. So all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, motion to approve the consent agenda as passed. So, item 4 on the agenda is Saturday Connects. Jessica is sick, probably because she was outside Saturday all day, hanging out with ice sculptures. Cannot make it, and Kim cannot make it either. So, Penny, reminds, do you have anything?
I do not. Well, keep us on track.
Oh, boy. Yeah. I'm scared now. All right. All right, so we'll run into administrative reports, and the first will be the mayor.
I just want to welcome Councilor Dill. As you know, we had a person run for the seat who at the end couldn't fill the duties of the office. So when we were thinking about who could fill the seat and asked for nominations, got a few people interested, but Stacy is a lifelong resident of Sounderson. Her parents own businesses in this community. She owns a business in the community. She owns a historic property in Sounderson. And so we're just really lucky to have you. So welcome aboard. We're excited to work with you. Yeah. Daisy will fill the 2-year term. And then we'll choose whether she wants to run on her own at that point. Welcome.
Thank you.
For the month of March, we have Sportsman's Day at Firehouse, which is this Saturday. So that's you can win sporting equipment and all kinds of good stuff. So support the fire company, and that's this Saturday. Then March 14th, there's a bar crawl in Souderton, which is technically not sponsored by Souder Connects, but I think you're helping with it. So that's exciting that we even have enough places to go to do that. And then March 19th, the Chamber of Commerce, the Indian Valley Chamber of Commerce is celebrating their 55th anniversary, and they're honoring their founding members, and Souderton Borough is one of them. So we're getting some honor at that event, which they're celebrating at 55 because 50 was in the middle of COVID. So this is a 5-year delay, but we've been a member of that and supporting it for a long time. So we are appreciative of them, and that should be a good event. And I think tickets are still available if anybody wants to go to the luncheon. It's March 19th in the middle of the day.
And you're talking about private or public?
Well, I guess the public could attend if you want, but yes, I'm mostly talking to council. And then the only other thing I'll say is great job this weekend to Souder Connects, because they're not here to say it themselves, but the Fire and Frost Festival was a huge success. I don't know how many people were there, but it felt like a couple thousand. And yeah, it was a great weather, great turnout, and good job by all. And that's all I have.
All right. Any questions, Steve? Okay, Chief.
Thank you, ma'am. I just have a couple brief comments. I would like to get to a council meeting where I don't have to thank Jason and his crew, fire department and the fire police for their assistance from the snowstorm and everything next month. I don't have to be grateful, but I just want to put it out there again that I know that Jason and his crew were in at 9 o'clock that morning because the timing of the storm was a little bit uncertain. And even though it didn't really start till 5 or 6 o'clock that night, they had already been here prepared. And I'd like to also talk about the fire department and the fire police again. We had a person who was having a medical emergency during the height of the storm. By the time I got there, it was on a private lot, an apartment complex that the borough's not even responsible. And they already had a plow there plowing the roads and volunteer firemen and fire police shoveling the walk by the time I got there. And I wasn't far out. Shoveling snow so the medics could get the stretcher in easier. And we talk about it every month, but I think it's worth talking about every month. And it should never get old to us that we have volunteers that are here doing it. And I know it's not. I'd just like to touch on something else. When I first took this position, I made it clear that the training of my officers was very important to me. And with the borough manager's cooperation and the elected officials here, the training budget was increased for 2026. And I want to report back to you what we've accomplished so far in 2026 with those extra funds that this board has allowed to me. We've already sent one officer to a week-long supervisor's course. We sent another officer to a week-long instructor development course. And this is all either happened or is going to be happening in the next 30 days. Search and seizure training, high-risk vehicle stops, a course on proper interview techniques, car seat installation certification, crime scene processing. All the officers are currently working on the criteria to keep their police certifications. It's not due till the end of the year, but by the end of this first quarter, we will be about 75 to 80% completed by March 31st. And the officers have also been given a schedule to review all the policies and procedures of the police department. So that's all what's been accomplished with those funds. And I'm thankful for the help I had in that. And the last thing I have, but I'm always able to answer questions, is the monthly reports were distributed to the elected officials and the borough management, and will be posted, publicly again tomorrow. that's all I have.
Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions? No questions? Thank you very much, Chief. I see our borough, public works director is here.
He wasn't able to be here tonight. He submitted his report a
Okay.
little bit early for you all. If you have questions, you can send them to myself or Lisa, and we can answer them either in between meetings or I.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't have anything to it. All right, Mr. Truncheck, borough solicitor.
Yes, thank you. I have submitted my report to council. Two items. Number one, I'd like to talk about an executive session that has to do with a piece of litigation that dates back to 2024. The property road there, 539 Valley Lane. Number four is just an update. At the February 17th meeting, council did approve a conditional use application for a Taco Bell at Town Gate Commons, subject to probably about 15 or 16 conditions. The approval letter did go out. I will have the formal written decision at your meeting on March 16th, I believe is the next meeting, for your consideration and adoption. Those are the updates that I had. If there's any questions.
Okay. Any questions from Mr. Truncheck? No. Okay. Next, we will run to the borough manager.
I just have a couple things for you tonight. The first is the spring newsletter is at the printer, and I think there's paper posted, which means it should hit the mail soon and not be distributed as an every door direct mailer. Toll passes launched yesterday online and then in person today. Between yesterday and today, we've exceeded $12,000 in sales, which is hopefully a good momentum as we start the season. March again will be a discount period of 10%, and then we'll go into regular price passes beginning in April till the season starts and into the season. We're again offering discounts for first responders and members of the group. And then the final thing is we did put out the RFP for auditing services. Those are due to my email on Friday. And I've had some really productive conversations with a couple companies. And so I think we'll have something to open, which was my hope.
Yeah.
There have been some other municipalities that I've put out and have not had any responses. So I was at least happy to have somebody's attention. The rest of my items that I have been working on will be covered in executive session tonight.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. Does anyone have any questions for our manager? So next we'll move into committee report. Which is going to start from Dan on down, and if you don't have one, that's fine. If you do, please report.
Do you want the committee heads or just general committee?
Is your chair here?
Is she down there?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I have the report.
I'll let her wrong up. Let her go.
So then, Beth.
Yeah, Matt's not here, so we met for public safety. Just talked about a couple of things. We revisited the Washington intersection at Garfield, still under discussion. And talked again about the crosswalk at Valley Vista, which seems like a problem without a clear solution at this time, but we are discussing it. And then we talked about too, just maybe through borough socials and police socials, reminding people that crosswalks should have signs and lines and to obey them, please, not hit pedestrians. Thank you.
Okay. Well, finance, I gave my report last meeting, right, and we're gonna meet again in about 10 days. And we had an executive committee meeting, it was our first one, Mr. Littlefield could not be there, but Stephanie and I are working on goals for this year and just working together as a three team up here. Per tem is my sidekick right now, so everything is good, and I'll pass it on to Andy.
Yeah, wastewater and sewer has not had a chance to meet.
Right.
We had it scheduled and a couple of folks last minute were not able to attend, so we're in rescheduling mode, so nothing to report.
And but not least.
From the outreach side of things, we are working on several different items that I think is a little premature to announce, but I am happy to announce that we will have our inaugural conversations with a counselor. It's going to be a quarterly event, and the first one is appropriately named Coffee and Conversations with Counselors because it will be held at Starbucks on Saturday, March the 28th at 10 a.m. It's an opportunity. I'm going to read right off the flyer. These sessions are designed to provide a relaxed, welcoming environment where residents can ask questions, share ideas, and engage in open dialogue with their elected officials. So, something new for Souderton.
Cool.
Thank you. I'm gonna try to make that March.
I will be there. No.
You guys good?
Oh, no. It was Dan. Never mind. Carry on. We're good.
Okay, you're good, okay. So now we're gonna move into public comment. If you have if you are a resident or visitor of the borough, please step to the podium, state your name and your address, and we'd love to hear from you.
Hello, everybody.
Hi,
I'm Alessandro with Whitetail Disposal. I don't live here, but I work with Whitetail Disposal, Casella Waste. I noticed your municipal trash and recycling contract is coming up for bid this year. So I just want to be a little preemptive, introduce myself. Congratulations, first of all. Introduce myself, make myself available for any questions you have as you're putting through the RFP, kind of going around and getting some ideas on how to modernize your trash collection. I know it's been about 5 years since you last went out to bid. And the industry's changed a little bit. So I just wanted to, again, introduce myself, make myself available for any questions. I know the borough pretty well. Before you guys were single hauler, I used to do the recycling route here in my younger years. So I know I'm pretty familiar with the layout of the borough and able to answer any questions you guys may have. And again, give you some ideas on how the industry's changed since maybe last time you went out for bid.
do you have a business card you can?
I certainly do. Brought just the right enough.
Head of that committee, so I will pass it along.
Left or right?
What color are your trash cans? Oh.
Your trash cans would be brown.
hate the red ones with them.
Brown blends in here.
Get brown and blue for such a job.
Yeah, thank you. I'll figure it out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alex.
Absolutely. Nice to meet you. And again, feel free to contact me with any questions. I know it's a pretty tedious process to put together. So more than happy to give you any help.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Given Alessandra's presentation, we have a town hall on March 23rd, March 23rd here at the borough, and it's to discuss the trash contract and get everyone thoughts, opinions, where we move, we stay single hall, we go out to single, choice, that's what I call it. That will be, at 7 to 9, is that, Stephanie, correct?
We set it for 7. I don't know that we had an ending time, did we, Sarah?
Oh, we should. Yeah, yeah, well.
Just don't remember that we said it. It's definitely starting at 7. We discussed that it should be the same time.
Like 7 to 9.
I figured that.
Has it been well advertised?
Yes.
No, it's been advertised to some degree. I've been working on it.
Yeah.
We have a graphic ready to go up. I typed up something for John today to post, and if we have a big turnout or if we don't have a big turnout, we can always schedule a second one to review together.
Okay, so back to public comment.
Oh, how you doing? My name is Lee Multich. I live at 247 West Chestnut. I'm here tonight to address a couple topics that I think the council should be made aware of. Since we moved here in July of 2025. These topics are discussion regarding property boundaries when designated a specific piece of property, such as a driveway, regardless of what current deed states or permits, poor handling of borough roads during cleaning of significant snowstorms, which I might be behind because I missed last month's snowstorm. And no offense, lack of heart in this community. I'll get to that one later on. If the council will indulge me for just a few minutes, I would like to mention that I'm here tonight to not disrespect or misinform anybody during my time. However, I am here to provide an objective and simplistic resolution, which I believe most residents of the borough would support based on the facts, principles, and morality of the greater good for the residents and employees of this great borough. I also must inform you that I'm a medically retired law enforcement officer from Montgomery County, and I served as correctional officer for almost 3 years. I did enough overtime to say I worked there about 7 or 8 years. But I do love and support my local areas such as Lansdale, Souderton, Skippack, and this country. However, I do suffer from a lot of physical and mental ailments such as heart failure, lung damage, brain damage, PTSD, anxiety, if you can't tell, depression, and social disorders when it comes to simple interactions with most people. I also graduated from Montgomery County Community College with honors Phi Theta Kappa and summa cum laude while I obtained my criminal justice degree in 2015. So at this time, if I can ask any questions or comments, be held till I'm done, just so I can focus on the topics and not going off on a tangent. Thank you. At this time, again, I would like to convey my first topic, which is a zoning concern, as well as a permitting approval issue as it pertains to rear driveways, easements, and setbacks, and to provide rationality for objective principles regarding assumed and/or presumed boundaries of personal residential property. The objective is to provide this council with information which should allow to amend the current code, section 1417 driveways, which states all driveways shall be a minimum of 4 feet from the side and rear lot in all districts, to a broader code which incorporates state case law, which may be applicable to the situation regards consentable lines once they are established by the residents of their respective properties. For the purpose of this conversation, I will focus on the doctrine of settlement, which states that neighbors are to treat a specific line like the edge of a driveway and or boundary for 21 plus years. It become a legal boundary, even if it contradicts the deed survey. In conjunction with the information I just stated, another common legal outcome is easement of necessity, which states if one party is landlocked, the court may establish a private road or easement, even if the driveway does not meet the 21-year requirement. With the affirmation decisions made in the Pennsylvania case law in recent years, there should be enough information to request immediate revisions to Souderton's current code, section 1417 driveways, to a broader definition, or incorporating ideas such as being landlocked and consentable lines. I'm only bringing this request to you guys tonight because I was denied my application for permit when it came to placing a concrete driveway within my landlocked boundaries of my property, which was built in 1867. A lot of the homes in the area, you know, they're older. So most of the lines were already procured by parties on either side, especially in the townhomes that I live in. So like I said, I'm only just out here just to request a concrete my presumed property lines described to me both by my neighbors when I moved in 7 months ago and case law of the great state. Personally, I was very upfront and honest and cordial with Courtney and Rich back in January of this year when they paid a visit for an understanding of what work I was looking to complete. During our conversation, Rich and Courtney insisted that I needed to bring the driveway up to code since I'm changing the material, and they wanted a 4-foot easement around all 3 sides of my rear property. Courtney was going to allow an immediate grievance when I brought up the conversation of the middle unit, which there's not much room there. So they would allow that boundary to be initiated for my property, but they wanted 4 feet still from the end unit. So then Courtney mentioned that if there was impervious stone established, I was able to construct work on that site. So I immediately petitioned again because there's grass overgrowing our already impediment stone that's already been there, and established our boundaries closest to the corner unit. Courtney and Rich observed the boundary area which I was trying to establish as my consentable boundary to my property. They looked at each other and said, a 4-foot easement was necessary. When I had further discussions with Rich and Courtney, they also claimed, like I said, a 4-foot easement to the alleyway as well, which unfortunately, apparently, according to the entire neighborhood, is actually a named street, and a sign was taken down so that the borough didn't have to pave or maintain that entranceway, which is right down here on West Chestnut. The park that's back there, I don't know the name of the park. I'm sorry. Is that, yeah, I don't know if it's this one up here. Sorry. Again, just moved here. But so at this time, they tried to explain that I needed, I tried to explain to them that that was my main access to the property of my rear, and that I should be able to pave up to or concrete up to the connection of the alleyway. Courtney and Rich ended our conversation with, "We'll get back to you sometime next week." Well, unfortunately, about a month went by, and I didn't hear a response from anybody. I reached out to spoke with Courtney in the application and any extra conversations that were needed to have with any co-workers or whoever needed to have a conversation with. During our conversation, Courtney told me that she was just trying to do her job and she is new to this position, still learning. And it is recommended that I get a survey to establish my property lines, which I think is absolutely absurd. I empathized with her and told her that she needs to just have a better understanding when it comes to discretion in her job duties. And anyone can choose to indulge in that benefit when it suits them. I also reminded Courtney that nothing takes a month to get done, and this is not how business should be conducted. The conversation prompted an email from Laura McQuiggan, which, with my denial of application, I called and left a message for Laura, and she never returned my phone call. However, I think it was Emily, and I'm sorry if I have the wrong name, but I did speak with Miss Cross on our sidewalk, and she confirmed that it was Laura's assistant who I probably spoke with. And she just reiterated the same conversation I had with Courtney. And once it wasn't going objectively, I just decided to end the conversation. Finally, after the accounts and information I provided, I believe the situation and permit application need to be reviewed because the decisions were based on lack of knowledge of a state of affirmations, emotions, and lack of discretion for objectivity. I am trying to do things by the book and find resistance over a driveway. I'm not trying to claim nothing that is not mine. And as a resident of this borough, I should be able to utilize my boundaries with objectivity and define purpose for my rear entrance to my residential property. I am now left with a decision that would leave my rear entrance driveway not even line up with the garage doors. So our garage is more to the right. They want everything over here, so I wouldn't even really have true access to the garage door. I could have done this over the weekend and nobody would have ever known. And even if you guys did find out, I probably would have just claimed it was already there. But since I'm trying to do things the right way and not have any problems, excuse me?
That's what.
No.
Like I said, I could just do it that way. But it does cause a lot of problems, which I don't want to have. But I think that trying to go about this the right way is not going the way it should. I'm having more problems trying to do the right thing and allow the borough to make money on a permit, but the situation has almost turned me off. I'm just about to say I'll save my money and just move on. Secondly, again, with the snowstorms, I might be late to the conversation, but the first snowstorm just seemed like somebody was collecting a paycheck. Second snowstorm, totally different. There was a storm that was supposed to have more catastrophic impact this time around. And on West Street, we all moved to one side of the street and compacted our cars for the plow guys. I'll just cut this short and sweet, but the plow guy pretty much stopped. He said at 12 o'clock at night, he said, "I don't want to plow over your clearly shoveled sidewalks." I said, "That's fine. We want you to do that. We want you to clear the streets like you're supposed to." So with that being said, I'm not going to run this longer than it has to be, but at the end of the day, I think the borough should come up with a plan for anything 5 inches and over that should allow people to utilize their back parking and allow the plow people to do their jobs. So, and finally, I'd like to speak about the heart in this community. I said, honestly, it's been the worst 7 months of my family's life. I said, we've observed juveniles fighting in the back, in the park, tampering with the electrical boxes, which I actually put wire ties on, zip ties, notified the police department of both incidents. And I still see that my zip ties are on there without a lock on it. But I mean, if you guys want the kids to keep playing with the lights and saving electric bill, that's one thing. But if it's for the assistance for law enforcement and controlling and being more effective in their job as well, it's in the best interest that those lights stay on. Also, we've had Child Protective Services called on us within 3 weeks after moving in. Had our neighbors admit that they knew the identity of the person and wouldn't tell us because I was a piece of shit. Sorry for the language. I could ask the chief, and no offense to the chief, but we just had a bad day that day. He said that he wouldn't investigate anybody who calls over child welfare, which I get. But 91% of all calls to Child, Youth, and Services are falsified. 4% are meaningful problems that are in homes, and they could have got them a lot faster. These types of wasted phone calls on our agencies is just uncalled for. There's no personality in it whatsoever. This gentleman who claimed that I was a negligent parent walked 6 houses down to knock on my neighbor's door to ask about my family because he almost hit my kid in his car. And I'm being called on Child, Youth, and Services as a negligent parent. All right, so that hurt. I hurt a lot. I have a lot of mental issues. My son was born while I was in a coma on Mother's Day in 2020 from COVID. And I have 2 more lovely boys after that. But this guy, he almost hit my kid. I probably would have never even if he hit my kid, I probably would have never pressed charges on him. These things do happen. My wife was trying to corral 2 boys, 5 and 3. The middle one, 3 years old, he did the alley-oop move on her, and she turned one way, and he went in her blind spot, and out in front of the car he went, which is, unfortunate. It sucks, but these types of situations should be investigated, prosecuted, and fined at the greatest expense. I'm not saying I'm the most able person, but I am not suicidal. But God forbid this type of situation placed a grief on my family so much that I shot myself. Would this guy step forward and take care of my kids? I don't think so. So I've seen council members take positions on these seats in Lansdale, Hatfield, and I've seen towns go downhill from people who have vendettas against their neighbors. I've seen Tom Menson and Lansdale place dog barking ordinance in place because their neighbor hated the fact that their dog barked at 10 o'clock at night. I think that's absurd just to take a public position. Now, according to Title PAPCSA Statute 4906-1 in 2014, states a person commits a misdemeanor of the 2nd degree if a person intentionally or knowingly makes false child report of users under 23 PACS Chapter 63 related to Child Protective Services. To further count this information, I told you that he lives 6 houses up. This guy did this maliciously and retaliatory because we don't know what type of day he was having, but he decided to ruin my life for the next 7 months. And I also heard that this town is trying to cancel 3rd Fridays. Is that true? No. Okay. I've heard that from multiple people that said that, like I said, since we've come here, I feel like we're living in a cult. I really do. Like I've walked my dog down the street. I've had some lady approach me. Have my dog turn to me and say to me, well, you have 3 boys. Don't you think the dog is too much? Now, what kind of people live here that are watching me that big? I just moved here. All right. I mean, I think this should be made aware of. I think there should be penalties for people who abuse agencies. And I think this is ridiculous, especially for my permit and everything else. So with that being said, any council members have any questions for me before I step away from the podium?
This time one.
Yes.
First of all, tell me your name again.
I'm sorry, Lee Militich. Yeah, I got dry mouth from my medicines and
I just want to thank you.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of courage to come up here.
I have a lot of heart. That's the difference. After my coma, it was all about family. I haven't put any book out or nothing like that. You can Google me, corrections officer meets baby for first time. All right. I've had a very rough road and I don't need to feel like I'm being watched in my own house. I even went as far as putting blackout blinds on every windows, cameras inside my house. Because I have to have proof. Because as a law enforcement officer, I upheld the facts, not just throwing some accusation out there. Someone's a negligent parent.
Well, again, it takes courage and I thank you.
Thank you.
All this matters our attention. We can look into some,
Thank you.
and get your phone number.
I'm not looking for, and no, I'm not looking to, disrespecting anybody or nothing in
Not
any way,
that-
shape, or form. It's just my wife and I, it's like we're contemplating on packing up. My grandmom lived on Reliance Road her whole life, or Forest Avenue her whole life. I remember when that whole condominium was all field across the way by that farm. I remember there's just places changed a lot, but again, I just, I would like to know what the council's intentions are. I don't know you guys from a hole in the ground, no offense, but I just would like to get to know each one of you and see what your outlook on this community is and which direction you're trying to take it. I don't want to see this borough running the ground
Appreciate it.
over mismanagement.
I think the mayor had. No, you're good.
I'll just say I'm just disappointed to hear the interactions you've had with your neighbors. I mean that breaks my heart. I mean, I live on the other side. I live on Penn Ave, but my interactions with my community members have been positive, and I'm sorry that you haven't felt the same way. And that's not been true to you. That makes me sick to my stomach. It sucks. So I'm sorry.
And if it wasn't for my neighbor coming forward, telling me who came down to him, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night still.
Yeah,
I'm not up there pounding this guy's door. I still would love to have a conversation with him,
I'm sure.
but I'm not up there beating him up or anything like that. It's just simple nature. You just got to know who to stay away from.
I guess the only thing I'll add is just I hope you continue to give the people of Sourton another chance, because in my interactions in this town, which I've lived here since 2014 now, there's a lot of good people here.
I don't know if there's better than that. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm not letting one incident speak for the rest, but like I said, we've just been feeling like we've been watched.
No, it sucks.
Just you don't know what to do, so
I hear you.
Oh, thank you, Mike.
thank you. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Lee. Oh, also, when did you file the permit originally? Because there's been some changeovers and stuff here. I'm just curious.
I filed it.
January.
January.
Talk to.
Oh, okay.
You can step up to 30. Hi. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening, council members, borough manager, chief of police as well. My name is Desiree Jeramenko and I live at 235 Parkview Drive. And I will second what Mr. Reichert said, and that is the community does have heart. I've been here personally since 1996. And I will tell you, I have 30 years in my home. I love the community. I like how tight knit it is. And there is always that bad seed in the neighborhood. Just don't stoop to that level. Be you. So I live in Park Place, which you all know is not a part of your trash recycling. However, I'm here because it's regarding a formal complaint that I submitted last Monday, February 23rd, involving 2 borough employees, their conduct, and in addition to the quality of the snow removal. In a way, I'm seconding what he has said. While my husband and I literally had stepped out of our house, not but for 3 minutes, opened the garage, he cleaned off a car, started snowblower for me. I was at the top of my driveway to remove the snow. He went to do our sidewalk, which is our responsibility, that leads up to the front of our door. We're on an end unit. A gentleman pulled up, a borough employee, in a backhoe with a plow on the front, and was screaming out this little tiny window. And I had the motor running and I didn't know how to shut it off. So I waved for my husband to come over. He went over to see what the gentleman wanted, walked down the driveway through the snow, and the guy started yelling, "You can't go on the street." And we walked away from it because we weren't even down at the bottom of the driveway. Not thinking too much of it, a second individual appeared, and he appeared to be a supervisor. He escalated the situation and he threatened to issue a citation. Because the interaction it actually became very confrontational, I called the police. The responding officer, he did not issue a citation. I want to be specific because there was no violation of said snow in the street. I submitted a written complaint after speaking with Miss Jarrett Eaton. I did put it in writing. And while I understand that personal matters involve confidentiality, residents deserve confirmation that aggressive and accusatory conduct towards homeowners is addressed and corrected. I don't expect any one of you to walk out to one of your neighbors and scream at them and or threaten them and use profanity. I do understand that you have to investigate. What I do not understand, it has been a full week and I have had no response. I did come back to you 4 days after the fact, and you told me you didn't have answers yet. So I have a hard time understanding why you couldn't address the two individuals and the police officer in a matter of 1 week. Okay. While we were on the phone, I had brought something else up. Separately, I want to address the snow removal in Sodderton. The difference between Sodderton's roads and neighboring municipalities is clearly noticeable. You can tell when you cross a township or we'll say neighboring town's line because the conditions improve. Concern should be the council's. I mean, we are the borough, we are responsible for the removal of the snow. It is a core public safety service, the removal of the snow. Residents should expect a thorough and consistent performance, not a minimal cleaning and limited to the width of a plow through my neighborhood. And that is exactly what we get, the width of the plow. I'm asking for accountability, clarity on employees' conduct, and what their expectations are, and an evaluation of the snow removal standards moving forward. And if tonight is not the appropriate venue for answers, I would respectfully request that this matter be placed on a future event agenda so that the residents can receive a clear and transparent update. You know, I believe that it's a reasonable expectation when a formal complaint has been submitted. Does anybody have any questions?
Actually, at this point, we'll just take your name and we will get back to you. We can't engage in any conversation. It's public comment only.
Okay.
So we take what you say, Sarah has the information
Mhm.
and we'll address it.
Okay.
We can bring it to committee. We've gotten a lot of complaints about snow, so. Yeah,
Bear some of that responsibility because our committee has not had a chance to meet. We've had some scheduling issues, and the last time we were scheduled to meet, two guys couldn't come, so we didn't even have
Yeah.
really a quorum. So
that can be a problem.
This committee is in regards to what? The snow removal?
it's public works
Public
and
Works?
sewer. It's under,
Okay.
yeah. So I'll
And
explain to that.
I don't envy the position that they have in removal of snow. Okay, I really don't, because you're up all sorts of hours and I respect that. But to come at a resident in an inappropriate matter, and I have to tell you, I had a resident knock on my door the day after and wanted to know if I was okay. So he witnessed the whole thing and I didn't even know that. And he was going to come tonight, but he couldn't. So I don't know what it takes for the borough to actually take some action and give me some sense of, hey, this was wrong. We apologize. And really the apologies should come from the two individuals. They really should. And more importantly, I would like to see us address the snow issues. I don't think it's so profound to say that when you leave Sotterton and you've crossed into either Franconia or Hatfield as a perfect, period, end of question. And the officer, the responding officer even agreed that that's a truth. You can ask any resident of Sotterton that exact question. And I'm assuming everybody who's on council lives here, right?
Yeah.
And the borough. So you all know I'm not preaching anything you don't know. So thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment?
No.
Charles?
Hi, Charles Wellner. 18 North Hunsberger Lane in Souderton. So I just have two things. While I do want to agree and commend the cleaning of the snow, I do also see on my particular road, I was wondering, and some of our neighbors got together and were concerned about how it was plowed. People were parking almost in the middle of the street. And when you have a car on both sides, we were all saying, how would a fire truck ever get down here? So to me, it was a safety concern. Cars were taking their time getting through, so that's understandable. And I can see like the first couple of days, you're trying to catch up, a lot of snow, obviously takes some time. But I would like to see, especially on the roads that are just one plow through, if they could come back and plow on one side or the other so that a fire truck could get through down the road. So that is my concern about the snow removal. And then my other concern again is I brought up before about the sewer. I realize that it's going to cost a lot of money, that we do have to make upgrades, that we, I guess, Band-Aid, and did the best we could over the past few years, 20, 30 years that I've been in this borough. But I would also like to ask that we look at not taking out so much money in a loan that it continues to raise not only the borough rate, the rate for the sewer, but our taxes. So I would like council to consider that when we're looking at, I know that we're looking at somebody helping out, paying somebody to help to look at all these expenses that we have. So that expense on top of the expense for the sewer system, I would like the borough to continue to consider all our options around that. And looking at further down the road, I know that we have the trash contract coming up. So we have a lot on our plate, and I realize that, and I appreciate all the work that you're doing. I don't want to come up here and have all this negativity, but I do want to express my concern. So thank you very much for listening.
Thank you. Anybody else? Step up to the podium. State your name and your address.
Hi, my name's Matt Kaiser. I live at 105 South Front Street. Just had a couple questions, like with the borough, like code enforcement officer, like Rich Roberts, like are we having a ton of problems around here or like complaints? I don't know if I'm allowed to ask questions or not, but like
It's strictly public comment.
okay, but like it's just kind of got outrageous. Like I've been here since 2013, bought like a pretty good problem child in the corner of the street. Maybe the chief can answer to that, like doors getting kicked in, like it's just outrageous that like I put a roof on last year, like I'm trying to fix the freaking place up. And it's like my wife has to go to court today with 2 kids, like I just feel like I'm under attack under this, and it's like all I'm trying to do is freaking fix the place. I have no time to fix it. I know I've done some stuff, like I'm in an R1 district running a company, snow plowing, like, yes, 5 years I ran a company, like just trying to like figure out like what's going on, like with like I'm legitly like $1,100 today just getting tattooed, like bam. It's like some people don't have it, you know. We work for 70 grand a year. It's like pisses me off. It's like I love Saracen. I've been here since 2013. It's like all I'm trying to figure out is like, is there any grace, like, or is it just, you know, like just trying to kick people out of the community? Because that's what it feels to me. So it's
Thank you. Thank you, your Max. Thank you. Everybody else? You good? Okay, item the public comment. The meeting and then the business. Our manager.
So there's two things for official action tonight. The first is the proposed employee handbook that we further doing this last 2 months. There's one update that Attorney Leader needs to make, which is why the proposed motion adds a provision to incorporate necessary legal updates as recommended by the Borough Solicitor. My hope is that those will be made this week, and then I plan to have a meeting with staff, and the handbook update would be effective April 1st.
Alrighty. Thank you. So with that said, I need a motion from council to approve the proposed employee handbook.
Madam President, I make a motion to approve the proposed employee handbook incorporating updated language to incorporate necessary legal updates as recommended by Borough Solicitor effective April 1st, 2026.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilor Costa, second by Councilor Frog. Do you have any questions about the motion? No good. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? No one opposed. That motion is approved by council.
The second is the approval of employee pension cost of living adjustment for COLAs. Our police pension plan makes them automatic. So it's not something that you technically need to take action on. The non-uniform plan has a shall provision, which means that you must approve the COLA, but wants council to formally act on it. It's one of these things that I just ask that you indulge me, because the auditors, when they audit for the pension, look for the approval from council in our meeting minutes. And so I'm just asking for uniform and non-uniform approval at the percentage adjustment that was calculated by our pension consultant. I think that if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to ask.
Thanks, Chad. Okay, I'd like to get a motion to approve the 2026 employee pension COLA.
Madam President, I'll make a motion to approve the uniform and non-uniform pension plan annual cost of living adjustments to the percentage calculated by Gerard Pension Consultants.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Motion from Councilor Schweitzer and second for Benchik. Any questions? Any questions? Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will, that motion can pass the 2026 employee pension. Cool. Okay, at this time, we are going to move into executive session. We will not reconvene, so we're done. We'll be, and with this meeting done. Thank you, everyone. Being adjourned. Sorry.
Motion to adjourn? Is that what you need?
No.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Oh.
Okay.
We do it in there? Yeah, that's.